So I'm going to take a shot in the dark here and say that around the next maybe 50 to 100 turns, we're going to go from 15 nations so far in this United States map to maybe about 10. I really think that we could see a lot of the big powers here start to absorb and eat up the smaller nations.
Now that's like a real long shot there. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but I just want to kind of throw it out there. It could. You never know. We'll see. But anyways, let's go on to the next turn. We have the Cree and the French signing a research agreement. We have the Mayans and the Canadians joining together in hands with a declaration of friendship, and then Canada and the Iroquois also. So Canada remains very friendly in this world so far, which is good. Good for them. I mean, it doesn't matter. They've already got the win, and that's fine. We are still looking for a second place nation here. And we'll see who it can beat. Now, obviously, everyone's predicting the Sioux. The Sioux have been absolutely dominating, and we should have kind of guessed that. They're in the plains, and that's where they thrive. They thrive in the plains, and they thrive in this territory, in this region. It makes sense. I don't know. I should have predicted them. I don't know why. I'm like punching myself in the head, thinking, why didn't I predict the Sioux? Because if we look at it, and I'll wait for the turns to stop processing, but if we look at this. I mean, they've got their little, unique bison or buffalo or whatever it is, just running around like their entire empire because they've got so many plain tiles within their tribal region, I guess you could say. So, anyways, we'll wait, we'll see. Now there are several wars still going on. The war against the Anishinaabe is still currently happening. Just nothing is happening. That's the thing, is nothing really is happening. Anyways, let's look at this. Let me just show you guys what's going on. I mean, you've got these wild bison just running all over the place, and I believe they do move. So you're talking about a yield. Each one of these things providing a lot of extra food. Actually, no. That's just because it's on the farm tiles. I think they have to start off in bison. They have to start off in plains. I'm sorry, and then the bison move maybe to grasslands. I believe that's how it works. It looks like the bison is providing them more culture, which is going to stop a possible cultural victory. But yeah, I think it just provides gold and culture. Yeah, after chivalry is researched. When worked by a city, plus food and plus production. Wow, +1 food and +1 production. Okay, yeah, so that makes a little bit of sense. I mean, that's a little bit of help. It doesn't really, I don't know if that's enough to, I guess to pinpoint exactly why this nation has done so well, but still. Okay, so Sitting Bull is plotting against the Maya, and we have Napoleon plotting against Pocatello. Now, that's an interesting one. They don't border each other, though, so there's nothing really going to come of that, but that's an interesting one. Just because, the Shoshone and the French, they kind of need to stick together here. If they don't stick together here, they're absolutely going to get dominated. It's divide and conquer. It's that easy for the Sioux. They need to make sure that this world just stays disunified, I guess, ununified, because if the world starts to unify against the Sioux, I think that's the only way, the absolute only way, and that's very, very unlikely for the AIs to unify against a more powerful AI. It's weird, because I feel like that needs to be someone needs to do something about that. I think that if the AI needs to get better at identifying who is the big nation, and we have France and Mexico going to war. We also have the Cree joining in. Pretty much that's just France and Mexico going to war. The Cree are totally not involved down here at all whatsoever, but still, emotional support. I think the AI really needs to get better at understanding who is the great power in the world and who to unify with. They need to get better at coalition is what I'm trying to say, because it seems like there's a certain point where an AI gets so big that none of the other AIs even want to try. Even if they were to unify, they'd have much more of a chance. But because they don't unify, the great powers just continue to roll, just continue to snowball up, because they don't stick together. Like in a game like EU4, smaller nations will unify, and that's what keeps the bigger nations at bay. That's what needs to happen in Civ 5, and I'm wondering if there's a mod for that, because I might want to include that in the next series. And we did vote for the next series, and we will be getting on that soon, but not yet. I still think we have another maybe 50 turns. I don't think that this is going to be a walk in the park for anybody. The Sioux still have, I think, actually, the Sioux are only influential with 5. The Shoshone, however, are influential, I believe, with 6 nations, as of the last time I checked, which was over the break. So I am keeping an eye on that. So Washington has granted the Anishinaabe a peace deal. That doesn't really keep them that much safer, because Well, I mean, it keeps them safe. Their capital is going to be safe. They still need to worry about the Canadians in the northeast here. The Canadians are, I don't know exactly what they're orchestrating here or how. It's a really, really tough landing. You're talking about multiple forest tiles, hills everywhere. I mean, it's just a complete mess for Leicester. And I don't think an AI, even with the technological advantage as well as the number advantage, Canada's not going to be able to do it. It's just too difficult. There's too much water over there too. So embargo the Anishinaabe. The Canadians are trying to enact, as well as Mexico is trying to enact the historical landmarks proposal. All right, that one will probably get passed, although it all depends on how many people have certain wonders and stuff like that. America has denounced the Anishinaabe, and then we have America looking for a sneak attack against somebody. We don't know which civ that is just yet. Now, France has not, they do not have their units here. France does, I don't know where the French troops are at. Oh my goodness, they are all the way, actually, you know what? Who declared that war? Are we sure that Mexico declared, are we sure, was it Mexico? No, that was France that declared the war, but they're going to be in a tough spot because, remember, Mexico's just been building and building and building. That might have been a huge mistake on Napoleon's part because Mexico's got some troops. They've been peaceful. They haven't gone to many wars, although you have to worry about the Zapotec here. That would crush this offensive move that the Mexican army is trying to accomplish here. If the Zapotec attack all the way from the west, that's it. That is it. And that, the AI they get very confused. They don't know what to do. They have to retreat their troops and go back towards the west. But by that point, I mean, the Zapotec have probably already taken multiple cities. That would be an absolute mess. I think I'm expecting that, but it really depends on how much Napoleon destroys in this war. I know that the Zapotec and the Mexican nations, they don't like each other. They do not like each other. So something to keep in mind. Historical landmarks was passed. Figured that. So there was enough amount of civs that had, there's a wide range of civs that have wonders. Usually that's how that proposal gets passed. And then we have, and the Anishinaabe was passed, that embark. That's nice of Spain. Look at that. Spain voting 5 nay votes. Oh, that's so sweet, Isabella. You're so kind. Washington is secretly plotting against Hiawatha. Whoops. I don't mean to tell you, Iroquois. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. Here it is. Wow, so they've surrounded Guadalajara. They have surrounded it. Yep. Oh, and that's it. That's exactly what we predicted. Okay, so more than likely what's going to happen is, I take it back, they're not going to immediately retreat the troops from the siege of Guadalajara. They're going to retreat some troops slowly but surely, but because they're not investing 100% over taking over this now French city, I doubt they're going to take anything from Napoleon. And Napoleon, this gives Napoleon a lot of time to get his artillery units back over towards the west. He has an infrastructure built. He has railroads built everywhere, so he can move his units pretty fast, whether that be from the northern French Empire or the easternmost French Empire. I think they'll be able to get over towards this territory fast, and then you're talking about, the Mexican army having to really worry about the threat here growing in the west, because where is they've Mexico City is along the coast. Napoleon can actually use that to his advantage a lot because of these battleships can easily go after Mexico City, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll see how that goes. This is going to be interesting. So the Sioux are still worth the Iroquois, but everything's doing fine here. Oh, whoa. What is Washington doing? Well, he's been trying. I think he's been doing that for a while, right? We've been witnessing him trying to move units through Iroquois or Iroquois territory. I don't know what he's doing exactly. It's probably against the Iroquois. I mean, that's what the spy said. That's exactly what Washington, the spy on Washington was trying to let us know. Who knows? You never know with those spies. Those spies tell us a whole bunch of junk sometimes, and it never comes true. Sometimes it just totally never comes true, and it is a pretty big disappointment. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. The Sioux have, they have their units here, but Cuba has just kind of stood the ultimate defense. Iroquois is not letting Cuba fall. And you know what? Even moving Washington's troops, these American troops moving through Iroquois territory, somewhat helping them. Somewhat. If they get in front of the Sioux army, then yeah, that would help out obviously a whole bunch. But they are. Look, they're kind of surrounding and protecting Cuba here. Technically, they are. There's a triplane side. I mean, this is less units. Technically, this mobile SAM could have moved down all the way towards this farm tile here. Then they could have, I don't think, they could use this cavalry unit maybe to get on this pasture. But still, the Americans are maybe not by choice helping out the Iroquois army. Okay, so how's Mexico doing? Has Mexico started to retreat yet? Yeah, they somewhat did. And they also did another fatal mistake that the AI always tends to do, and they went after 2 cities. Don't ever do that, AI. Just don't go after 2 cities at once. Just focus in on one city. Take your time. There's no rush. There is no rush, but it never works out like that. Never works out. Okay, so you have multiple infantry units, and these are infantry unit. They're among the, well, I mean, Mexico's got some infantry units, so they should be okay. They don't have any sort of technology advantage, and actually it'll be pretty close. As long as, you know what I think is going to happen? Maybe I take it back. Maybe my theory is wrong. At least what I thought the Mexican AI was going to do. Maybe the Mexican AI is going to continue to go after these French cities and continue those sieges. France and the Anishinaabe have peaced out. And that is when slowly but surely Napoleon starts to grind down their armies through, city bombardments, artillery attacks, infantry units that are being reinforced from the north and the east. And Napoleon, and I'm sorry, the Zapotec are just, boom, they just walk into cities one by one. I bet you that's going to happen now. Because it's weird to see the AI not immediately retreat. That gives me the sign that the AI just doesn't care. And it doesn't realize what's going on here. Okay, so what do you have? Napoleon is playing against Zapotec now. Oh wow. Okay, so you're just trying to go after northern Mexico here. Chinook have denounced Spain, and with the Zapotec denouncing the Sioux. But the Zapotec have kind of retreated here. Now, they do have rocket artillery, and the AI is very good at using rocket artillery. I mean, it's not difficult to use these guys. There are some units that I've talked about many times in the past, like MPs, for instance, the unique unit for the Zulu. Very, very easy. Whoa. Oh, my goodness. Okay, now those were some big ones. Rocket artillery is what I was trying to say is rocket artillery is very useful for an AI. It's very simple to use, and it takes a lot of damage away from cities, so I think we could see a very successful war from the Zapotec, even though they're kind of doing something weird and retreating a little bit here. Okay, so Mexico's focused in on their attack of Guadalajara once again, but you're talking about a few penalties attacking across this river. I mean, I think that just the damage has been done. Too much damage has already been done. So let's keep an eye on this. So the Mayans just went to war with the Shoshone. This could be bad for both of these nations because, and America's decided to join in on the war against Mexico. Napoleon's planning against Hiawatha. Wow. So we're just going to see a complete breakdown of wars. So Shoshone, remember the Shoshone don't have that big of a military because they've been investing so heavily in taking over the Chinook tribe as well as the Dene. Well, they haven't been at war with the Dene in a while, right? I'm pretty sure. But most of the Shoshone troops are up north, which is pretty bad, but where do the Mayans keep their own military units? Because we have this kind of separated Mayan empire, but remember, they kind of lost a lot of their troops because of their war with France. They were at war with France for like hundreds of years, and they really, it doesn't look like they've really done too much to rebuild that successful army that they used to have. It's somewhat there, somewhat, but not by much. A couple of artillery units, some bazookas, rocket artillery. Those are good, but I don't see any melee. They clearly don't have as good of an army as they kind of need to attack the Shoshone of all people. The Shoshone are among one of the best. Not best in terms of military, but I mean, like, they could squeeze out a victory. They could definitely, easily squeeze out a cultural victory. That is really possible. Upcoming session. Okay, so what do we got? World Leader proposal in 5 turns, and we also have Hiawatha plotting against Poundmaker. Okay, next turn. We're about to get onto turn 360. So what are we averaging now? It's interesting to see how the game is. There's clearly a lot of units for the AI to control because it is taking longer every episode to get through some of these turns, which is exciting because we have big armies. This is it might be a little bit premature to say this, but this might be one of my favorite campaigns only because it had some really interesting elements that we've yet to see. We had huge nations on pretty much a massive Pangea map where everyone started off with except for Europe and their colonies, everyone started off with 4 cities. I mean, to start 10 turns into a campaign with 4 cities already down for an AI. I mean, you're talking about a really, really dominant, powerful force. Whether that be through a cultural victory like the Shoshone or just a military means like the Sioux, they're going to be able to do whatever they want because the AI thrives with a wide strategy, not with a tall strategy, as we can see with the Anishinaabe. And actually, I don't know how this happened, but this city, it might get taken over. So what happened here? Did they move around Iroquois territory and then just attack from the south? Wow. So Leicester is on the verge of taking over a pretty massive Anishinaabe city, the second biggest as of right now in their empire. CN Tower has been built by the Zapotec, and we have a new research agreement by the Zapotec and the Chinook. That has been taken over by England. No way. No way, England. Wow. Okay, I don't know how that happened, but they're going to be safe. The Anishinaabe have absolutely nobody protecting their capital right now. Whoa, that was a surprise. Well, good job for Elizabeth. And now Canada is completely, kind of surrounding this most populated city currently at 23 population. You're talking about maybe getting a hold of, what, 12 citizens? I mean, obviously 12 turns of resistance if it was 12 citizens, but that's still a pretty big shift. Also, you're talking about even more border gore between the Canadians and the English empires. It's going to be looking real ugly. Real ugly. I had no idea England was going to take that. I thought Canada was going to take that stuff. I guess not. Okay, so how is the Mexican War? Still pretty much no damage against Guadalajara, but the Zapotec, luckily for the Mexican army, the Zapotec have not invested fully in this war just yet. Okay, so we have Mexico and the Chinook. Well, I mean, I should say the Chinook declaring war on Mexico. There's really nobody else that can join in except for probably the Mayans to really... I think that would be the final nail in the coffin. Just an extra attack from the south. With all these units here, they do have a lot of units in their capital. They could do some stuff. They could certainly do some stuff. Oh, and there it is, right there. Well, speak of, I don't think the phrase is "speak of the devil," but I'm not saying the Mayans are the devil but I'm just trying to think of a better phrase than that. But anyways, yeah, that just happened. Now this is going to be interesting. Obviously, I think the AI should be able to navigate these wars where they have to watch the Shoshone in the west, which obviously the military here in this northern Mayan Empire should be able to do that, and then obviously the same goes for the army inside of the capital will just go and attack Mexico. So this might be pretty easy for the AI to navigate, as well as the Mayans are always going to have the help of the Zapotec as of right now at least. Now this would be an awesome city for the Mayans to take. Technically, it would. Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize this. Technically, it would connect the empires. It would connect the capital city all the way up north to the northernmost Mayan Empire. Wow. That would be pretty amazing. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. You never know. It'd probably be the Zapotec, but because the Zapotec seem to be kind of all over the place in terms of their military strategy, this might be a big moment for the Mayans. Very huge moment. And look at that. Mexico's lost almost their entire army. France is still dealing with some rebel uprisings. Yeah, they're not feeling too good. Now, how is America doing? I don't know where their troops went. Oh, okay, it looks like they made it back towards Atlanta and Philadelphia. Oh, yeah, they're all protecting Washington now. Wow. Okay. Canada's making some significant progress, and I think we're going to see the Anishinaabe down to one city. Wow. And this is like not a very, it's not the most powerful city in the world or anything like that. 12 population, not that good. It is nice to have a coastal city on these Great Lakes, but I think the Cree have started to establish their dominance. Definitely, because they have multiple coastal cities on these Great Lakes, so I would say that they've definitely kind of established their dominance in the region. They can kind of get up all these big navies, whereas someone like England or the Canadians are really kind of playing from behind now. They just grabbed their first coastal city in the Great Lakes, so it's going to be kind of tough. Hiawatha's plotting against the Mexican nation. Chinook has publicly denounced the Anishinaabe. All right, let's go to the next turn. Turn 363. And let's kind of keep an eye on Mexico, but at the same time, I really want to focus in on the engagement. Oh, Isabella has built the Apollo program. So it seems like it seems like a kind of a stagnant war. Now, have the Shoshone decided to retreat from the north? They have somewhat. And this again, the Chinook tribe are going to survive for another few turns. They will. I think that the Shoshone are going to focus in on the east against the Mayans, and this is going to give the Chinook tribe some more time. They still have four cities. And they obviously have the Denny just off to the east, so it's kind of incredible. Now, how are the Sioux doing? Have they continued to expand? They have not taken Cuba, but Cuba is in yellow health with no more Iroquois cities left. Not a super significant city. If it was to fall, it wouldn't be a super awesome pickup for the Shoshone. Obviously, it doesn't have that great of a size. And there's still no infrastructure leading to Salamanca, maybe? I'm not sure. So it really doesn't mean much. They already border Washington, so strategically it doesn't give them any new nations to go to war with that they can border at least. Okay, world leader. Again, Canada will probably win this one. Again, I mean, they've been winning all these. But anyways, guys, before I go to the next before I go to the next video or the next turn, I'm gonna have to stop right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Very, very fun. Like I said, this has been a really, really fun campaign. I have to say, it's got to be among the top. I would say at least. Honestly, I'm gonna say top 2. Even though the Europeans didn't do as well as I wanted them to do, they needed to be aggressive early on. They didn't do that. This has still been a really fun campaign. Because these nations are so wide and they have such huge armies, we are seeing nothing but war at this late part of the game. So anyways, guys, I'm having a fun time. I hope you guys are too. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.